Books, books. I like books. I'm gonna read them all. Hi readers, Chris here. Welcome to my channel where I review fantasy, Stephen King, all sorts of books, and today I'm doing an unhaul because I am getting ready to go on a trip, go on vacation, and every time I take a big trip, I just want to clear some space to make room for potentially some new books. And I know I say this all the time, but this unhaul was particularly difficult because this is the first time that I am unhauling books that I haven't read yet. Yes, that's right. I'm unhauling books that I haven't read because I just have so many unread books. There's just some ones that I know, like, I'm probably never going to get to. So it's time to move on, and I'm going to show you what I'm getting rid of. Before I jump in, there's one thing I wanted to mention quick, and that is typically I donate my books. However, I have started selling my books, secondhand used books, on this app called Pango, Pango. I'll post a little picture of it. I had never heard of this app until about like a month or two ago. Someone told me about it and I started using it. So now I have like a bookstore. And yes, obviously I'm selling books for super cheap. I've made about 30 bucks so far. So most of the things in this pile I will post on there. However, if it's something that I don't think will sell or like has a special meaning to it, I'm still going to donate it anyway. So if you hear me saying, hey, I'll try to sell this one, or I'm going to donate, that is why. Oh, and also if anyone else is on Pango, let me know so that we can follow each other. Okay, so I'm going to start this unhaul off with books that I have read. And the first one I'm going to unhaul is Threads That Bind by Kika Hatzopalu. I read this over the summer. If you saw my review, you will know I was not a big fan of this one, mostly because of all the modern American politics that are in this fantasy story. It was not my jam. So yeah, obviously this is an Owl Crate special edition. So it's in really nice condition. It's a really cool book. I'm going to try to sell it on Pango, see if anyone wants it, and hopes that someone will enjoy it more than me and it'll find a good home. Next up, I will be unhauling my Land of Stories collection. So I only have the first 3 books, so that's The Wishing Spell, The Enchantress Returns, and then A Grim Warning. Read all these books. They're super, super, super cute. Like, honestly, if you have a young person in your life, or if you're just a fan of like middle grade, these books are really cute. They're really fun. I'm never going to reread them. So it's time to let them go. I don't know, this second one is not in the best condition. So you can see it has a little bit of damage on the spine. So I might post it, see if it sells. And if it doesn't sell like within a little bit, then I will donate it. And then finally, I have this book, Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I read this book ages ago, like at least 10 years, if not more. And I always intended to read more of this series because it's this whole series about like an angel that comes to Earth, and it's a romance and a fantasy. And I remember wanting to read more of these books. I just never got around to it. I never did. Now, unfortunately, this book has this huge printed on here special price. So I would feel weird about selling this one, even though I was selling it for less. So I think I'm just going to donate this one. This is the last of books I've read, and this one makes me a little sad, and I'm kind of second guessing myself, but that is The Alchemist by Dan Coelho. I think that's how you pronounce it. This book was obviously huge when it came out. If you're a reader, you've probably heard about it. And honestly, I do think it's a book that everyone should read because it's one of those like life lesson type books. Now, again, it's been a really long time since I've read it. It's been on my shelf for absolutely ages now, at least 10 plus years. And at this point, I'm sad to say, I'm not going to reread this one. I'm not going to reread this one. I did kind of ask around my friends and family if anyone wanted it. No one claimed it, so I'm going to put this one up on Pango, see if it can find a home there. So those are all the books I've read that I'm getting rid of. So now I'm into the books that I haven't read yet, but I'm getting rid of anyway. And the first one is If I Stay by Gail Forman. Again, I know this was a popular book when it came out, a popular YA book. And honestly, I don't even remember what this book was about. I honestly don't. Like, yes, I know what it says on the back. Someone has an accident and then she's kind of stuck between life and death. I think it's a little bit of a romance, a little bit of a coming of age story. Clearly, I got this book for super cheap for $2. So I'm not going to sell this one. I'm going to donate it and hopefully it will find a home with someone who actually wants to read it. Next up, I have The Circle by Dave Eggers. I also picked up this book secondhand. I picked up this book after the TV show came out on Netflix because whenever there's a show based on a book, of course, I want to read the book. But again, this has been sitting on my shelf for years. I honestly, I don't even think about it. When I was looking through my shelves to pick out which books I might want to unhaul, when I saw this one, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that. So that's clearly a sign that I have no intention of reading this anytime soon. So it's time to say goodbye. Oh, and I'll post this one for sale, see what happens. Next up, I have a historical fiction, Signora Da Vinci. This is supposed to be about the mother of Leonardo da Vinci. I went through a phase where I was super heavy deep into historical fiction. That's where my love of Philippa Gregory comes from, Tudor era England. So I picked this one up, again, secondhand, because I thought it sounded interesting. And I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I've had this book forever and I've never felt inclined to pick it up. So at this point, I think I just need to move on. So I'm not even sure if a book like this would sell. So I think I'm probably going to donate this one. Next up, I have this set of books from Relle Mead, and that is Bloodlines and The Golden Lily. I really don't know anything about these books other than Relle Mead is mostly known for her Vampire Academy books, which I haven't read, but I saw these. I forget where I saw these. This is a Walmart exclusive edition, so I may have gotten it at Walmart, but knowing me, I probably didn't pay full price, so I probably got these at a library sale or something. Again, if I was going to read anything by Relle Mead, I feel like I would read the Vampire Academy book. So I don't know why I'm hanging on to these. I really don't. There's so many other things that I would want to read before these two, unfortunately. So, yeah. I don't think I can sell this one because if I try to take the sticker off, it's probably going to ruin it. And I don't know if I should split them up. So for now, I'm going to say I'm going to donate these. Next up, this one makes me a little sad, and that is #FashionVictim. Why did I buy this book? I have no idea. I saw it at a library sale, and I saw that it was a book of the month book, and I thought the premise of this book sounded really funny. You can see what it says on the title there. But it's basically supposed to be kind of like a Devil Wears Prada type book, but also way darker type story. And I love the Devil Wears Prada, love that movie. So I thought that this dark tale of fashion, I would really like too. And honestly, I think if I read this book, I would like it. I feel like that, but I'm just not going to. I'm not going to, because I know as soon as I put it on my TBR, there's going to be something else that I want to read more. Probably a fantasy, because it's me. So because it's a book of the month, I don't think I'm going to sell it. I will probably donate. Next up, this is another bestseller, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I'm sure many of you will remember when this book came out. It was super popular. It's about this lady who takes a train and she sees something crazy, but then she's like an unreliable narrator because she kind of has a drinking problem. So did she really see what she thought she saw? It's a little bit of a mystery, that type of thing. I think this is really popular because it came out after Gone Girl, if I remember correctly. So again, picked it up because it was a bestseller, super popular, never read it, and honestly, I feel like its time has passed. Like, it's so far past when this book was popular. I feel like there's really no point in reading it now, unfortunately. So yeah, this one I'm definitely going to try to sell because it's a hardcover. It's a nice condition. I just never read it. And finally, I have one more to unhaul, and this one's kind of a random one, and that is Dragonfly in Amber by Diana Gabaldon. This is part of the Outlander series. I didn't want to say what book it was and be wrong. It's either like the second or third, I want to say, maybe. I think it's the second book in her Outlander series. Outlander is a series I've always wanted to read, but I've always been intimidated because every single book in that series is huge. It's a chunker. Not only are they big, but look how tiny that writing is. It is a commitment. It is a commitment. However, I do have almost the whole series by this point because people have given them to me. I've picked them up at charity shops. I have multiple copies of some of these books, and this is one of them. I have multiple copies of this, so I don't need two. I don't need two copies of a book that I haven't read yet. So I am getting rid of this one. I feel like it's random to try and sell a random book in the middle of a series. So maybe I'll try it and see what happens. And if no one wants it, then it'll end up getting donated. So there you have it. That's about 15 books for me, which is about the average that I usually do when I unhaul. Now I have some more room to find some more books when I go on my trip. So for now, I'm going to leave you so I can get packing. But of course, before I run off, I want to know from you, have you read any of these books that I'm unhauling? Do you think there's any of them that I should hang on to? Maybe give them a chance? Let me know in the comments section below. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel for more bookish stuff coming your way soon. All right, everyone, happy reading.